Well, I'm thrilled to be joined by Amy MacDonald, the gorgeous and talented singer. Amy, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. Now, we're backstage here at the Shepherd's Bush Empire. You've got a gig in a few hours. Is gigging something that you really enjoy?
It's the best part of what I do, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, for me, everything to do with this industry is exciting, but the most exciting part for me is playing gigs and being on stage, and that's the reason I started this in the first place. For me, it's all about music and all about performing. So
you never get that feeling, and you speak to some performers and they get it, you know, they're sort of 5 minutes away from going on stage and think, God, what on earth am I doing this for?
No, not at all. I mean, I get it every other day, but when I'm playing, I don't get it at all. I get really excited, and I just absolutely love playing gigs.
Now, you talked about how, you know, gigging was where you started, and you started very, very early, didn't you? I mean, was what's happening now always on the cards for you?
Not always, no. I mean, like everyone always has their dreams and their aspirations, and when I was young, when I was like 10 or 11, everyone I knew wanted to be a pop star, as they say. But I mean, I had the same dreams, but I never looked at it as an actual career path that I could take. I never thought it was going to happen. I just had little daydreams about it, and all throughout school I'd planned to go to university, and I'd applied to uni and got accepted in that. But then on my year off, I'd been given this amazing opportunity, so kind of took it with both hands, and luckily it's went really well for me.
So what was your plan B? You mentioned about going to university.
Well, that was my plan A, actually. This is my plan B. I'd already applied and I'd already been accepted and already set everything up to go to uni, and then I'd got offered a record contract, and I thought, well, to be honest, I'm still really young, I can go to uni any time, but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, so I need to take it.
Now, sort of going back to when you first discovered that you had talent, you talked about those 11, 12-year-old dreams, which a lot of people have, you say, but you had them too, and you've managed to turn them into a reality. I mean, how did that process come about? I mean, I'm sure it was small steps. But...
I taught myself to play guitar after seeing Travis headline at Tea in the Park, and after that I started writing when I was about 13 or so, and just continued to do so. And then one day I was reading a music magazine, there was an advert in the back that said production company seeks artists, and I sent a demo away not thinking anything of it. It was the first thing I'd ever sent away, and then about 3 months later I think I got a phone call saying, oh, we loved your demo, can we come and see you play? And they came up and seen me play, and the two people are now it was my producer, and he's now my manager as well, which is brilliant because it's so natural that way. It's somebody that I've known for nearly 4 years now and that I'm really close to, and it was just great. So for me, it was never really the hard struggle that it is for most artists. I was really lucky and seemed to be in the right place at the right time.
Did you know you were good?
No, I don't think anybody does. I mean, I enjoyed what I was doing, and I just kept at it because it's something I enjoyed doing. I didn't really care what anybody else thought. But I mean, from playing gigs and from doing open mics and things, I always got great reaction, and I always got great feedback from other musicians that were there. Ones were much older than me, so it kind of egged you on a bit. But I'm never conceited or never really big-headed that only think about myself and only think I'm amazing. I've never been like that, and I think Scottish people are particularly modest anyway. We're not really very good at saying what we're good at.
Because you've come up, I mean, it's the hard way doing all that gigging. When you compare yourself to other people that maybe have been picked and groomed for stardom and success, you know, it's a very different route that you've taken. So I suppose you're very well grounded in that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think I'd absolutely hate it any other way. I think if you don't do it the natural way, then it might not be as fun as it could be if you've just been kind of, like you said, groomed for it. But for me, I've learned how to do everything on my own, and I've learned how to gig and what it's like, so I'm used to it now, and it just feels a bit more natural, and I feel it's a bit more special than having somebody just tell you what to do along every step of the way.
You touched on, you know, when you aged 13, 14, you started writing songs. I mean, that's easy for you to say. I mean, for lots and lots of people, they wouldn't have a first clue about how to write a song. I mean, take us through the process.
Well, I don't think anybody has a clue to write a song, and I think that's the brilliant thing about songwriting, that there's no set formula for it. Anyone can do it, and And the thing is, most people, I mean, just looking in here, Franz Ferdinand and like Ian Brown and Pete Doherty, when they started, they wouldn't have had a clue how to write songs either, but everyone's got to start somewhere. So I mean, for me it was just a case of I loved playing the guitar, and I was loving playing cover versions, and I thought, oh, maybe I could do this as well, and then I just simply wrote something, and it's as simple as that, and it just develops from that.
But you say it's simple because you're good at it, don't you?
No, I think that anybody can be good at it, because I don't think it's something that you need to have. I mean, there can be people that are better songwriters than others, but I think at the end of the day, anybody can write a song easily. I think anyone can do it.
So what comes first? Is it melody? Is it lyrics? Because you have to be a musician, you have to be quite poetic as well, don't you? And then if you're going to perform the song yourself, you have to have a great voice, you know, and you have all of that.
And well, I mean, I'm really lucky in that respect, but for me, I just write, I'll get inspired by something, whatever it is, something really simple, everyday life, and then I'll come up with a chord pattern on the guitar and put lyrics to that. As easy as that, really.
So who inspires you? What sort of bands do you touched on Travis there? I mean, who do you look to?
Well, I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for Travis, I wouldn't be doing this right now, because it was them that made me kind of want to get into this. But
so what was it about them?
Do you know, I can't tell you. I mean, just simple melody, simple lyrics, but so effective, and just great songs, and that really touched me and made me want to get into music myself, and that's what I'd done. But I mean, after that, I went back and checked out some bands that had been out in previous years, like Oasis and Ocean Colour Scene, and just loved that whole indie rock thing and the whole Britpop thing, and then found bands like the Libertines, and nowadays I love things like the Killers and the Kings of Leon, but then older stuff as well, like Fleetwood Mac and Bruce Springsteen, the Beach Boys. There's a lot of stuff that influences me and that I like to listen to, but at the same time, I don't sound anything like that, because I think that it's good that you can listen to a whole variety of music but then do something completely unique. Because I mean, right now there's a lot of bands that sound like the Libertines. It's because they're heavily influenced by the Libertines, and then they go on and write a record that could be the Libertines, and it does get a bit boring after a while. So I like to have a varied music taste, but then do my own thing at the same time.
Do you write for yourself, or do you write for your audience?
I write for myself. I mean, it's always a bonus that audience like to listen to it, but like I said, I write about everyday things, so it has to be something that's happened to me, or something that will happen to my friends, or something that's going on around me. So it's pretty much me focused, but I think the songs that I write are so simple and so much about everyday life that anyone can associate with them, and I think that's why it's went down so well with other people.
Now, you're doing fabulously well. I can only imagine that things are going to get better and bigger from here. I mean, do you ever sort of stop and look at yourself in the mirror from time to time and think, God, this was my plan B, and look where I am now?
I mean, sometimes, but the thing that's a bit of a shame about it is that you have no time to think about anything. Like, I mean, so much great things have happened to me, and I've never really had time to take them in.
Because you're always rushing from one thing to the next.
Yeah, you're always doing one thing after the other, and you suddenly just get used to it, and it's just this big, massive cycle. But I'm sure, I mean, when this album comes to an end and I'll have time to reflect, I'm sure that I'll wake up and go, God, did that just happen? So
what do you love most about the job, and what do you hate most about it?
I mean, I love gigging. It's my favourite part, and my band are some of my closest friends in the whole world, so it's always when you go on tour, it's like going on a road trip with your friends, and that's just a brilliant part of it. And I love writing songs, and then the worst parts of it are just kind of endless promo and getting up at the crack of dawn for...
So things like this?
I mean, this doesn't bother me because it's quite relaxed, but things like it's particularly bad when you go to foreign countries, because you're just sat in a room for like 7 hours and they come in one by one, and it's just so unnatural, and it just doesn't feel right, and that can be a bit tedious, but luckily I'll always get to play a gig at the end of it and remind myself why I'm doing it.
It must be difficult to remain focused on the gig itself, because you know, when you start off and you're small, it's all about the gig, but as you get bigger and bigger, then there's so many other people involved, there's so much else going on, it's easy to lose focus, I imagine.
I mean, I think we try our hardest to keep it about the gig, because there's always people that will try and like work you to the bone and say, oh, but you can do this, you can do that, but then I'm just kind of say, well, I'm on tour, so my first and foremost right now is my tour, and nothing else. That can all come second.
Do you have any worries when you're on tour? I mean, do you fear that anything in particular is going to go wrong? Sort of, do you have any lucky rituals or anything like that?
Not at all. I mean, I never fear. We always have the best of fun on tour, and I always feel completely relaxed. Only one weird ritual we have is before we go on stage, we'll all tap each other on the shoulder and say, "Have a good one," and we've done that since day one, so it's just something that we'll probably do forever now.
So